Hello, everybody. My name is Ronaldo Rolim, and this is the latest edition of Astral. And today I'm thrilled to chat with my dear friend and wonderful composer, Thomas Kotcheff, who wrote a beautiful new piece called Super Salon Music, which I'm going to be premiering at the American Philosophical Society right here in Philadelphia on April the 22nd. It's part of the Astral Concert Series. This is a commission made possible by the Astral Micro Commissioning Program. And Thomas, I'd love to get started here with a few thoughts about how this idea came about. Of course, we have a shared past we can illuminate regarding this piece. And yes, I would love to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, when you approached me about writing this piece, a solo piano piece for you, the first thing that came to my mind was thinking about what does it mean to write a piece for you, and knowing you, and I first met you when I was 18, and I think you were maybe 19 or 20 when I met you, maybe a couple years older than me. And we were in the same graduating class from undergraduate at Peabody Conservatory. And I started thinking about just all the pieces I heard you play back then. And I was running through them all. I remember you played the Berg Piano Sonata. That was like your first year. Mm-hmm. I think you did B minor Liszt Sonata, is that correct? Kreisleriana by Schumann.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, so I was just literally thinking about all these pieces, and these are pieces that I associate with you. Then I thought to myself, there's one piece though that stands out above all the others that really I still think about to this day, and that's your performance of Rachmaninoff's Fourth Piano Concerto. And I remember when I was undergraduate at the time, I vaguely knew there was a Fourth Piano Concerto. Like I knew, it was in the world, but never heard it live. Never even heard a recording of it. And when Peabody announced the concerto competition, and you came to rep class and you played it, I was literally on the floor. Like I could not believe, one, how great this piece was, and two, how amazing your performance was. I actually left that day. I went back to my dorm and I said, well, Ronaldo's going to win the competition. It's over. I knew it. I knew it was over that day. And then sure enough, like a month later, you won the competition. And you got to play the Rock 4 with the orchestra, and again, an incredible performance, standing ovation. So for me, that piece will always be linked to you. And I actually haven't even heard it since. I've never heard it live since, but I love that piece. And so I was like, I have to do this, because this, to me, this is Ronaldo, this piece. And so I got the score out and just started playing through the score, listening to it, and really just playing through it and like circling parts I liked, and with a pen and going, oh, I love this part, and this is cool, and I like this measure, and I like this measure, and of course, the movement 1 climax, I was like, I have to do something with this, because it's amazing, the movement 1 climax.
Yeah.
So after kind of compiling all these material in front of me, I was like, this is the parts of this concerto that like just are amazing. Then I started getting to the piece and coming and bringing it together, and I really focused in on some quotes from the first movement, of course a big one of the climax, and then also quoting the main theme of the second movement, which I think is an amazing theme. And really, the second movement to me is about harmony, and so it's about taking those chords and just and making them my own, but also saying how amazing Rachmaninoff is. And the crazy thing is even just by quoting him directly, it still sounds like amazing, crazy harmony. Like you need not do anything to it to have it be really cool,
I know. The richness of it is just to melt.
Yeah. Well, what I love about it too is that it's almost melody-less. Like it has no melody. It's a simple melody. Mi, re, do. That to me, but the way he harmonizes it is out of this world.
Absolutely. I must say this piece, Super Salon Music, I must say you capture a beautiful characteristic of the concerto, which first has this beautifully nostalgic vein to it, and also this fleeting character. Some of his passage work was very, very much like that. And funny enough, I just think that very much goes with your own compositional idiom. So it was all beautifully married into one single piece of music. And it was just very, very nice. I was really, really happy to see those trends converging, you know. I might have told you this already, and I truly, truly feel this way. This piece to me is like, I don't know, maybe one day I performed Rock 4, and then I had a wild dream about it. And then I woke up, I was like, whoa, what is going on? You know? And like, and even though people may absolutely enjoy the piece without knowing the concerto, I think knowing the concerto definitely makes it even more appealing, right? So tell me a little bit. Do you really think the music can be understood as a standalone piece, or should people know the concerto?
I think that, for me, I, being a pianist too, and just loving the repertoire. I teach the repertoire, even though I'm a living modern composer, like I love Rachmaninoff, Chopin, Liszt, Schumann, with all the composers we just named. And for me, I really lean into that love and that influence. And so I don't think that personally, like if you told me to write a piece and don't quote Rachmaninoff, I'd still think there'd be Rachmaninoff in there. I don't know if it could go away, because this is just part of who I am as a human being.
Right.
But I also, my own music too, I like to think about just the way that, probably if you or I were practicing on our own in a practice room, and we just move really fast between like trying to do a passage and then like kind of noodling around, and then like going back to the passage and then noodling around again, then making up something and and then getting, so I just feel like the piece is expression of like how I approach music in general, just like this kind of like craziness, this kind of like moving, making stuff up, practicing, moving over and over again.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you can totally imagine that while hearing the music. I don't know, the way I programmed the recital here in Philly is actually something you might enjoy as well, because we're starting the second half with your own piece, and then we're doing a Rachmaninoff set after that. And the first piece of that Rachmaninoff set is the C minor Etude Tableau, which actually was used by Rachmaninoff in the beautiful coda of the second movement of Rock 4. So it's a kind of a proactive and retroactive coding of Rock 4. So that's going to be a nice little feature of the concert. The concert in general, I must say that I was just inspired by your piece to make up an entirely different program, because I had this one idea in mind, and I even shared that with you. And I was like, well, I hope it goes, and whatever, it will be fine. But then you wrote this piece. And then you gave me the title Super Salon Music, so actually the entire program ended up being an homage to salon music in general.
Oh, wow.
So yes, it's going to be pieces that are definitely not in the mainstream, or at least most of them. The most common thing that people are going to hear is a couple of Rachmaninoff preludes and etudes. But like the rest is really, really not the quintessential, Schumann symphonic etudes or Chopin preludes or you name it. Not at all. I'm starting with a little French set with Poulenc, Debussy and Fauré, and then I'm doing a Weber's Second Sonata, which is salon music to the extreme. I mean, it's completely out of fashion, but it's a really, really interesting and amazing piece of music. And then we kind of pick it up with your piece in the second half, and then Rachmaninoff, and then some Brazilian stuff to end the recital. So, yeah, it's all going to be kind of mostly... apart from the sonata, mostly miniature music. And so it's really, I don't know, I was just really inspired by that. And I think your piece is going to be a tremendous addition to the concert in that sense. So, I just want to close with a little bit more about yourself as a composer beyond super salon music. I think it would be nice for people to get to know a little bit of your work. And of course, we've collaborated before. We've done the beautiful Gone in Tonight Are All the Eyes for Trio Appassionata. But can you tell me, myself and the public, a little bit about what are your preferences in general? How your compositional style could be defined?
I think that, for me, and this goes as not just a composer and a performer, but also just as a audience goer, I like to think about and to like look at and listen to music that's really in a way over the top. Like I like when things are to an extreme, and like you think about repertoire, like the high romantic music, it's not only like big and it's like emotional, roller coasters, but also in its length as well. And in my own music, I'm also really interested in just seeing what is too far. How far can you push an idea? How far can you take something? And one of the reasons why I love Rock 4 is it's like to the absolute extreme, like and the accusation of it that where I was slammed by the critics because they said, oh, it's too much. You've done too much here. There's too many ideas. There's too many things here. It's all too much. And for me, I go, no, I love that. I love it. It's too much. And so I don't. For the piece I wrote for you, I feel it really encapsulates the kind of music that I love listening to, that I love writing, is music that, no matter how long the piece may be, and this is a 7-minute piece, right? 7-minute piece. It still is about what is too much, like what is going too far, how much can you take an idea and play with it, pull it and push it to an extreme level. And I love that with all music.
Yeah, and we can totally hear that in your music. I absolutely would encourage people to get to know a little bit about your music at thomaskotcheff.com. So you get to hear some other works and get familiarized with your compositional idiom. So Thomas, thank you so much for your music, for your friendship, and for talking about your creative process with us. It's really going to be so exciting to finally share this wonderful music with the Astral audience. See you then.
Thanks, Ronaldo.